back to my channel if you're returning. If you're new here, my name is Tori. I am trying to get back into the swing of things. Got some updates, but I just wanted to come on camera and prep for the week ahead because I haven't done that in a minute per se. I am like super sleepy today. I don't know why. But yeah, I think my body is just like, I'm just burnt out, I think, and it is what it is. So yeah, I'm not like, I don't know. Anyways, I figured I would go ahead and do my weekly planning for my rings as well as my memory planner. This is what I kind of like to look back at. My rings, I do archive some of the inserts, but not all of them. I largely just pitch and move on. And this is like my first tier, is how I think of it, my first tier of sticker use. So I carry an A6 sticker book from Shine Sticker Studio in the back of my rings, and I try to use up whatever is in this book first before using something else. And so to map out my week, I do have my work planner off to the side. Just dropped a notebook. That's fine. My desk is absolutely horrendous. So I'm going to start with the week in my hemlock and oak planner. Again, I really enjoyed this planner because it allows for a lot of reflection and goal setting that I really appreciate. And I've already accomplished one of my major goals for this year, and I can finally come out and say it. But I have accepted a job at one of our local middle schools as a reading teacher, so I will be leaving my library, and my final day is July the 4th, which, you know, it's kind of funny. Independence Day and all that. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to the new opportunity. I know if you're a teacher and you're like, oh my gosh, she's going into a classroom, and I've heard some horror stories and I've heard really good stories, and I think it really is one of those things where it's all about the combination of factors that go into it, about like the resources, the admin, the people around you, these students, all of it can factor into whether you have a great experience in a school as a teacher or a poor experience. So I am fortunate enough to have been selected for a position in a really well-testing school system, and they want to keep it that way. So I have been hired as a reading teacher, and as far as I know, I have not gotten a lot of elaboration on what my role will look like because the current school year is still in session, so they're not worried about me because they got to get through this year first. But I have pretty much been hired to help the low scoring students with their reading, whether that be it can be a range of issues from they didn't fully master their phonemic awareness, or they just need help with larger picture types of issues with their reading. Either way, I will be helping grades 6 through 8 with that. So I'm really excited to start this new chapter. But for now, we're still at our library, and I am still considered a librarian at this point, but I think you'll find that anybody who's ever been a librarian never fully detaches from that identity. And that's fine. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. I think I want to use this Planner Kate journal kit, because I never come on here with like a fully formed plan, because It's just not realistic to me, if I'm being honest. And so, trying to see what I think. I love the bumblebees with this, and almost knocked my coffee over. And the honeycomb washi. I just really like the look of this, but it's so hard to figure out what I want to use. And I definitely got date stickers from other planner cake kits that I can utilize with these stickers. So I've got some of these. It's the 19th through the 25th. That's ironic. 19, 20, and then 26. That is so ironic. I'm like, yeah, I have date dots. I can totally use them up. But can I? I do have some from Shine Sticker Studio as well, but they don't really match, so we may just forego date dots for now. I'm gonna pull the bumblebees down, and I love Planner Kate stuff because they're so, like, I don't know. It's not, I don't know how to explain it. I don't think of myself as like a Planner Kate kit person, even though that's kind of what I've evolved to, because it takes a lot of the thinking out of it, and it makes things go by so much faster when you just have your stickers already there for you, and they're super easy to manipulate. Like, all of the Planner Kate stickers are, I can't figure out, what is the term? I don't know what the term is. Basically, you can pull them up and reapply them. I'll put it on the screen. You know what I'm talking about. Like, the stickers are just easier to pull up, and they don't tear your paper. They're very friendly to the planning process, in my opinion. I do find the site overwhelming at times because it has a lot going on for a lot of different kinds of planners, which, you know, that's not a bad thing, but sometimes I'm just like, ah. Alright, so I am going to be working Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I don't think I have anything on Saturday. No. And technically, I'm actually not going to be working Friday either, so I'm just going to be working Tuesday through Thursday. And our staff meeting got moved to this day. And then I will have a very large break before we start summer library programming. I did that intentionally because, you know, like I started out saying, I'm burnt out. So having some time to myself to, like, relax before I get going on the busiest time of the year for the library is pretty important to my mental health. I'm trying my best to pay attention to my mental health. So yeah, I would say reflecting on the library has been, it's kind of been a grieving process in a way. And I don't mean that to sound like dramatic, but like, this library was my first true career beginning position, if that makes sense. And so I grew up professionally in this library. I started working there when I was 24, and I am now 30, and I learned a lot of hard lessons, and I learned that, you know, the workplace is not necessarily a place where, I don't know, I feel juvenile saying it. I think I went in with expectations that I would meet people who would remain lifelong friends, and that's not the case. And I think it was a little naive of me to think that, but, you know, again, I was 24 and fresh out of graduate school and hadn't had a full position where, you know, I'd stayed for more than 2 years, essentially. And this was the first position I'd ever been at where, you know, this is it. This is where you're going to be. And I initially wasn't even trying to get the position because I was hesitant about working with kids, because I hadn't done that before, and which is ironic because now I love working with kids. I hadn't done that before, and I was, you know, like, I don't know if this is for me kind of thing. And it just worked out because my father-in-law lives in the area, and, you know, now at this point we live on the same land, but we hadn't before. And so it just worked out really well that I took the position because we wanted to be in the area because of my father-in-law's health issues and things of that nature. And so when it was offered to me, I accepted. And, you know, the first year was pretty interesting, and then we had COVID. So I think COVID was really where things changed from my perspective and showed me more about just the expectations and my role in the library and how I fit into the place. And, you know, it's not one of those things where, I don't know, I don't have really negative things to say. I just think librarianship as a whole has a really, 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 really notorious and kind of frustrating, to me anyways. I don't appreciate it. It has a job creep issue where there's the attempt to be all things for all people. And I think it has that issue because libraries are constantly struggling to communicate their value to communities who don't see their value. And maybe not the community specifically, but to people who make policy and who influence policy. Like, it's just one of those things where our society is set up to where people who influence policy the most are usually well off and don't see what library services provide for people who have less than them on a daily basis. I will say that my library that I'm in is very fortunate to have a great system of support around it. It is not struggling nearly as badly as other libraries in our areas. You know, like, we didn't have that issue, but yeah, it's just one of those things where if it's like, it's a very, very slippery slope, and libraries get caught in that, okay, we've done this, now we can expand and do more. And it's like, okay, but who's going to be doing the more? And how are you going to accommodate that for when they come to you and they say they need time off? And I'm not speaking specifically, again, about my library, because my library is really good about, you know, prioritizing people. But it's just, over time, trying to be all things to all people is exhausting. And so that's kind of one of the factors of why I kind of was willing to put a pause on my career path as far as libraries go. And I actually got an undergraduate degree in English, and in my naivete, I definitely fought back about anybody asking me if I wanted to be a teacher when they heard I got a degree in English. Like, they thought that was the only thing you could do. And that always frustrated me because I didn't want to be a teacher. And I had, like, some ill-conceived notions about teaching and, like, what it meant for you as a professional if you were a teacher, and how, like, I don't know, just a lot of factors went into it that aren't necessarily true for me today. And the more I worked in the library, the more I realized how much I enjoyed working with kids. And it was kind of like one of those things where you don't realize how well suited you are for something until you get into it, obviously. And I definitely didn't think I was suited to work with kids until I worked with kids. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is definitely for me, because I love working with kiddos. Because they have such great senses of humor. They have amazing personalities. They're gonna shoot things straight with you, you know? You're gonna know how you're faring with them pretty quickly. And with adults, it's a little different. It's harder to read them and know their true intentions, in my opinion. So, kids are just a lot more fun, in my opinion. And, you know, that's to everyone's own, you know, discretion of who they like to work with. But I just found over the years that I really enjoy the perspective that kids bring to the table, for sure. All right, but I'm gonna write all of this in and then I'll be right back. Okay, not the best handwriting, but it'll do. I need to put in that Tuesday is trash day. Where are my stickers for my trash can, or my trash bags? Here we are. Okay. All right, take out trash. What else do we have going on? I have an appointment that day. I'm gonna put it here. I like these little journaling pages. I think they're very cute. What else? I don't know. I'll probably put in a weekend sticker since I'm here. I can find where I put them. I have all these stickers. These are from Are they from Stationery Pal? I don't remember. I think they might be from Stationery Pal. All these little girl stickers are cute, in my opinion. I like them. I have plans, but they're not the current stickers I'm looking for. Where are the weekend stickers? There we are. Okay. Let's go with this one down here. Kind of matches the colors. Okay, I legitimately don't know what else I have going on. Let me look at my work planner real quick. This banged up thing. The $6 Champion. Oh, I have that. Okay. And I have that. So, 2 more things we need to add. This one. Oh my. Okay. on. So yeah, I think we're good to go. This feels so empty to me. I'm gonna pull some Tombos for my habits that I always do, that I'm terrible at keeping up with, though we strive to do it every time, just never gets done. Sad but true. So I have budget, which another thing that happened was I lost my bank card only to find it under a clip in my rings. So it got shoved in between a paper clip in my rings planner, and I could not find it for like 3 days because where it was like not where I could see it. It got shoved between a vinyl sticker and a paper clip. So like the vinyl sticker was on top of the bank card, and then the paper clip was holding it in place, and I just never saw it. So I notified my bank that I lost my card, and then within 3 hours I found it again, and I called the bank the next day on that Monday, and I was like, can I please just like cancel the lost card? And they were like, nope, now we have to send you a new one. It'll be 7 to 10 business days. And my life is on fire ever since, when I tell you. It is the most like frustrating thing in the world, and I am a notorious person. Like, you can ask my husband, I will lose my bank card so quickly and find it like in the washer or like in the pair of, because if you ask him, it's because I don't put it away where I should immediately after using it, and he would be correct. But I think this has absolutely killed any chance that I will be doing it again in the future, because my soul has been tormented by my bank. And it's not necessarily even my bank's fault. It's just their policies, which I get, because money is serious and you don't want to mess around with somebody's money, and they take it very seriously when something goes missing. But I'm like, I do feel like there should be some forgiveness for being just a chaotic person. There's more of us out here. All right, so this is Tombow 992, and then this is just a Crayola super tip that I'm going to be using in tandem with each other. 992 is like my fave Tombow, and I bought 2 of them because I don't even pay attention, and I just like what I like. And that's when I started labeling my markers, because I was like, how do I have 2 of these already? But anyways, now that I have talked your ear off about the changes and my opinions on the library space, which I haven't told you all my opinions, but I will say that, like, I feel a little bit like I am, there's some guilt there too, because I feel like I'm leaving in the middle of like the Titanic, like, shipwreck, because of how government policy is affecting libraries right now. I do feel kind of guilty, but at the end of the day, it's not, you know, like, I understand that guilt is, as my therapist calls it, inappropriate guilt. Because it's not anything that is a consequence of my own actions. It's stuff that is out of my control. And so, yeah. Number 1, we're looking out for ourselves. And if that means we've got to move on somewhere else, then we should do that, because we want to leave legacies that are healthy and not unhappy workplace situations. And not that mine was unhappy, it just was not the workplace for me by the end of it. So for this week, I am going to be working on some to-do stuff. I need to All right, so that is going to be the week so far, and essentially I just duplicate this information in the rings planner. So for that, I go to the daily pages, pull out what I've used so far, and then don't like that. $100 planner and the rings are gapping. We love that for us. So let's see. Also need to take out the weeklies that I'm not using at this point because they're kind of bulking some things up. So pull these out. Kind of need the first page of that backstory. All right, I need to white out this because I'm actually going to take this day off because this meeting got moved to the Thursday before. So it's the only reason I was working that day. And I've already planned out this stuff, so let's see what I can add in here. Put this Planner Kate sticker down and write day off. And then I have been using the Sunday as like a to-do list section. So methinks I might do that again. I'm gonna use this orangey color one from Planner Kate and just cover up where it says Sunday with to do. I've been using the leftovers of these checklists also. So use a pink one just for like the weekly to-do list that can be done across the days. So looking at what I need to get done here, I'm just going to migrate what didn't get done last week. So okay, so we have more things happening. Oh, no, not that one. It's the other one. The other day, derp. So do 8A staff meeting, and then this is 5P anime and manga. And then for the dailies, I just use the Moterm stuff. We have these that just have the flags that I should really probably just transfer into my sticker book, but kind of left them there for now. Check boxes have these longer boxes. So I think these are going to feature in the setup today. My puppy is over there having a dream where he's yipping. All right. We'll do this for Tuesday. A green one for Wednesday. If I can. Oi. And I've already thought, as I'm laying this down, like I've already thought of something I need to add to the weekly to-do list. So I need to go back to that once I get these down. These are just the Happy Planner stickers that Miss Gwen gave me. And I don't have Happy Planners in my life, but I can use a good sticker, that's for sure. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday. Let's go back to the weekly, wherever it went. I need to do June socials. And then, okay, so this is going to be, where's my sticker book? Here it is. I also just remembered that we will have a student worker coming to work for us. And I'm going to have to like figure out a situation with one of my coworkers, because I took the week after this, I took it off, and the student worker's still gonna come. So, and technically that student worker is under me, but if I'm not there, I need somebody to give her things to do. So I'm gonna need to get with my coworker about that. And then I need to prep newsletters too, because I could technically do that for them before I go. All right, so back to the dailies. Tuesday is the 20th. So, 05, 20, 25. My brain is like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're at May. And then the other half of my brain is, yes, you can believe it. We have slogged through this year. And it's like, calm down. Don't be dramatic. All right, so first we'll do work. 8:30 to 6. This is work. 8:30 to, I think, 4. Can't remember my own schedule at this point because it changes almost weekly. Work. 8:30 to 3, maybe? Very tentative, very tentative. Okay, so what isn't tentative is that story time is at 10:30. And teen anime and manga is at 5. We'll do another sticker for the note of the daily, or noting on the daily that the student worker will be starting their first day. Our local university does like these internship classes for interested students who enroll, who are looking for like, I guess, real world experience or something. I'm gonna do, let's see, do You Got This with the green. And then, oh, you know what else? I have a thing on Monday. I forgot. I'm gonna add that to my memory calendar too. I have a meeting. So let me put that down. 2 p.m. Okay. So Tuesday was what I was here for. Nothing else on Tuesday, but let's look and see what I can get done from the weekly to-dos. I really do the Tuesday I have, oh my goodness, okay, just all over the place. I also have that at 2:30. Call. Okay. I don't know what else we can do on Tuesday, but then Wednesday is... And then... What do we want to use? Let's do another You Got This on this day. We'll probably add in some extra stickers. So for the rest of the week, what else is there? All right, and then we have Thursday, which starts off with the staff meeting, and then 10 is another story time, and then 11 is another meeting. Because it turns out when you leave your workplace, people want to know everything that you do so that they can get the next person to do the same thing, which makes sense. All right, we need to prep something for the county daycares to be notified about my leaving. And then this, I need to prep for the staff meeting the next day. And while I'm thinking about it, let me pull one of these. I think that was 2. It was. Oy vey. Let's go back. Pretend like I didn't do that. Okay. I do want to kind of write myself a note here with, let's see, website, SLP pages. Okay, so that is pretty much the planning for the week. It's just making sure that both of those, both of those pages or planner areas align. So I think what I forgot to put in was the 2 o'clock meeting on this day. So I need to grab those. I have one last little flag, so it works. All right. So yeah, that's how I kind of prep for the week ahead. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments below. Thank you for listening to me. If you made it this far, and I hope you have a great week ahead. You stay happy, safe, and healthy. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I hope you'll consider subscribing and giving this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.